Welcome to another check-in episode in our Delirious WEST 2026 podcast series, where we're following a brave bunch of runners as they take on one of Australia's wildest ultra trail events and generously bring us along for the journey to the start line. Today, we're catching up with one of our Delirious Bound legends to hear how things are tracking, the wins, the wobbles, and all the lessons in between. Let's dive in and see where they're at this month. Today on the Zen Run podcast, I am excited to talk to another one of our delirious athletes on his way to the start line, Craig Jeffrey. I know you've had a pretty exciting couple of weeks. You've been very busy running. Welcome back.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, excited to talk again.
So tell me, what have you been up to?
Well, 5 days ago, I did the UTMB Kosciuszko 160K, the miler, and it went very well. So that's pleasing. It was pretty exciting, and look forward to talking to you about it.
All right, keep talking for a sec. I just put my headphones in.
No worries.
I just realised, sorry everyone, I jumped off another call and straight onto this one. I'm just like, Craig sounds funny. Oh, that's right, he's not in my ears. Anyway, if that sounded weird to everyone, it's only because I didn't have my headphones in. Now I do. Well done on making it to the end, and you look in one piece. It was only really a few days
it went
ago.
really well. So it's a fantastic race. It's the third time I've done it, and the previous two times have been so different calamities. The first time I tripped on what they call the cheese grater, the metal walkways that they have up there to protect the vegetation, and it cut open my knee very early on in the race, but I still finished, but I had to kind of walk it out, so it took a long time. And then the second time, it was a reasonably good race, but I got stuck at about 50k in, because there was a lightning storm and we were held up for 2.5 hours and then taken on a shorter route, so it ended up being 86 miles. So in a weird way, it was a kind of the first time I felt this time where I could really do the whole course and hopefully stay in one piece. And it went really well. It starts at 3 a.m, so we all gathered there, and I'd managed to get into the front group, the sort of elite group, because of my finish time last year. And it's quite an interesting course, because the first 30k are very, very runnable. The first 12k is along a bike path, and then you go onto a path that goes along a beautiful river, and that was all really good. I managed to. I thought I was going very fast, but lots and lots of people were ahead of me. I think I was probably about a third of the way down the field. Yeah. And then you go right up onto the top. Or not right to the top, but you go quite high up to Perisher, up there on the sort of the alpine plain, and the winds then were just absolutely enormous. I think there was 100-kilometer winds. I don't want to steal Kylie's thunder, because I'm sure she'll come on and talk to you about.
I'm sure she will.
So I won't say what happened, how Kylie was handling it, but it was like I've never felt like I might get blown off my feet before, and I really almost did.
So was the wind in your face or on the side or behind?
It was coming to the side, and we were on these walkways that I've talked about as being quite treacherous.
Yeah.
The weather, by the way, was lovely at this stage, apart from the wind. The temperature was good and things, but it was the strongest wind I can remember experiencing. And sometimes you actually just had to concentrate on standing still, just stop and actually let the wind sort of do its thing before you could continue.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, weirdly, when we then got onto the bit that goes right up to the top of Australia, mainland Australia, Mount Kosciuszko, the wind died down a bit, and that bit was quite nice, except that there was part where you had to go across snow, so there was a snowfield.
Wow.
And it didn't pay to look down. You just sort of followed this track that had been carved into the snow, got to Kosciuszko, came back down the same way, and then there's a sort of section which looks really easy when you look at it on the map, on the course sort of summary and map. but it's really gnarly, and you can't get into a rhythm. And I never particularly liked it. It's always been when I've always done it when it's been the hottest time of the day, and now it's actually started to feel quite hot. And you've got like very, very bright, intense sunshine. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, so that bit didn't go quite as well. But I just trudged on. Then I did something stupid, which is a good lesson for people. Well, probably isn't a lesson because it's so obvious not to do this. But I took a salt tab and I started chewing it because I couldn't swallow. For some reason, I couldn't swallow it. You know, sometimes you take a pill and you can't swallow something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just chew it and take a mouthful of water. And I think my body by that stage was kind of like, well, we'll take all kinds of crap you're going to give me, Craig, but like a big, swallow of very salty water, which is kind of, I think, something you do to induce being sick.
To vomit, yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I did.
Oh no.
And so I've been taking gels every 20 minutes, really kind of carefully, and it undid a lot of that good because it all just came up. Anyway, just carried on. So I'll just take you through the race in about 5 minutes and then stop it. Then there's a really weird loop that you do, which I never particularly like. It's not the most scenic part of the course. And it's also at that sort of 100K mark where you're kind of starting to feel really tired, but you've still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But sort of just tough that out. And then you climb back up to Perisher again, which is, I start to actually quite enjoy again because it gets cool, and you get the poles out, and it's just a different motion. That's why I saw Kylie coming the other way, and I gave her a fist pump because I could see her name tag, and that was really nice. And we've exchanged texts since then. And I'm not going to spoil what happened to Kylie, but she was looking really strong. And then you get up to the top again, then you go back down again, and I felt fine, and started to feel stronger. And you know how sometimes in races you're around lots of people, which I had been, and then you're not around anyone. So for the next sort of 30 or 40K, I wasn't really around anybody, but I kind of felt that it was because they were stopping for longer in the aid stations. And, I sort of, this is where I think the training kind of event at last kind of kicked in, that I'd done so much volume that last sort of 40K, I felt really, really strong. And the only thing is I just wasn't really by that. I'd sort of, the gels had stopped going down. I just couldn't force myself without worrying about being sick. And so I was just surviving on ginger beer and Coke.
So
and
did the salt remained that, like the effects of that salt tablet remained?
No, not really. In fact, it felt quite nice after I vomited.
Okay.
You know how it does sometimes. It wasn't a vomiting like because you've got food poisoning or something. So I didn't feel particularly nauseous, but I think just the exhaustion and the just having had gels for 22 hours or whatever and nothing else. I think it was a good strategy because I felt really much less woozy, and I felt like the nutrition strategy did work well, but up to 22 hours. I just need to practice after that. And so I was just sort of, the last section goes right back up, sort of almost 2/3 of the way up the mountain to Eagle's Nest. It's about a 700-meter climb. By this stage, it was 2 a.m. So we started 3 in the previous morning. It's dark. Wow. Then the rain started. It was like horizontal, freezing, rainy sleet. And this is usually my favorite part of the race because I always sort of leave something for the end. And it was, again, my favorite part of the race. But I sort of tricked myself. Someone passed me very quickly, and then I thought I caught them up again. And they said to me, "Oh, do you want to should we just work on this last leg together?" And I said, "Yeah," because I thought, "Oh, this person's really fast, and that's really good." And they were quite fast, and we were passing people all the way. Yes. But I think I was at that stage. I kind of thought, "Oh, I'll just follow this person rather than race myself." So I kind of feel like I left a little bit of time on the course, but I wasn't close to winning the thing. Anyway, so I finished in 26 hours, 46 minutes.
Wow. That's amazing. Congratulations.
I was really pleased with them. You might remember I was aiming for 26, but that was always pretty, when I said it was always really ambitious. And in those conditions with that wind, and there were some other snowfields we had to cross in that last section, I kind of feel like I mean, I guess that is just mountain conditions, but I think people generally found it tougher than previous years
Yeah.
because of the conditions.
Is there normally snow at this
Well,
time
the
of year?
first year they ran it, there was loads of snow, so they actually did a different course that was, I think, very, very different. But the last 2 years there hasn't been snow, or at least I haven't seen it, and so I think it is a little bit unusual to have that amount of snow still up there.
Yeah. It would be so exciting though. I would love to see the snow and run in snow.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, but you don't really run it. It's not. It kind of would have been exciting if you could kind of run and then scoot along on your bottom and kind of sled it and stuff. It wasn't really that kind of
Play in it.
yeah. It wasn't really that kind of environment. It was on slopes
Okay.
that shelved away, so
Yeah.
you had to kind of a path had been cut in it by other people, and you had to kind of just follow the footsteps.
Okay.
It was very slow and painstaking. And just a vaguely, I mean, not really sketchy, but you wouldn't want to mess about. Tempting though it was.
So are you tempted to do it again next year?
I'd really like to. Yeah, I really like the race, and I like being competitive with myself. So I kind of get into these situations of, I used to be with the Surf Coast Century. I did it every year, and you kind of thought, oh, I can save some time there next year, or, I really noticed the benefit of having done it twice, knowing to kind of keep it really slow at the start, and I knew those middle sections were going to be really slow and frustrating, and that it would come good. So it was quite satisfying. I mean, the first year I did it in 31 hours, and this time I did it in 26:47. And last year I did it in 24:14, but I didn't do about 15 miles of it. So, when you add 15 miles and the difficult conditions, this year was a much better performance. And I'm a year older, so that's very satisfying, I guess.
That's awesome. Wow. And how did you feel? Did you drive straight back, or did you sleep in the car, or have a sleep, or how did that work?
I had one more night in Jindabyne, so I finished, whatever it was, 5:30 in the morning or something like that, and then I went back and kind of napped through the day, and I didn't sleep very well because you had to because it was a 3 a.m. start, and you think, well, you've got to be up by about 1 a.m. because you've got to eat, and you've actually got to be down there at 2:30, and I had to walk down to the start, so I had to really leave the house at about 2:10. So with all the getting ready and having something to eat and things, I think I got up at about 12:30. So I went to sleep. I tried to go to bed at 6, but you don't know. I mean, I don't know. I never sleep particularly well before a race, but particularly when you're effectively having to change your cycle and start
Yeah,
it.
that's really hard.
I mean, if you were a professional, I guess what you'd do is you would, several days in advance, you just pretend you're in a different country with a different time zone. You start going to bed at 6 or 5.
Yeah.
But I didn't quite have that. Well, I just couldn't have done it because of engagements and stuff. So.
And then what about recovery on this other end of it? Like, it's only a few days ago, really.
Yeah. Look, I've got it's slightly sore inside my right knee. I don't know if that's an IT band. It is quite sore, but I don't think it's an injury. And I noticed it within about 10 miles of the start. I noticed this slight pain.
Yeah.
I thought, oh no, I hope this isn't going to get worse. And it was there the whole race, but it never got worse. So that's kind of there, but I think it'll go. And I feel really good in myself. Like I've gone for a couple of runs, and I felt like I want to get faster so I can do get some aerobic exercise, but I just don't. It's difficult with my knee, and also I got with the inside of my knee. I also got, which is now becoming a pattern, not blisters. I don't seem to get blisters, but my nails get banged back into my feet.
Oh,
actually, my big toenails. And I looked it up on ChatGPT, and it says that it's called runner's foot or runner's toe. I'd never heard of it before, but it's when you're just the repeated banging on your toenail leads to blood building up under the nail. And I
Oh,
cut my toenails and things, but it just seems to be something that it just happens to me. And it says it's because your shoes might be the wrong size, but I don't think they're either too big or too small.
oh, that's very frustrating. It's like, is it sore now? Like, does it take a while? Do your toenails fall off as a
Well,
result?
I think they will eventually.
Mm.
But and last time I think I went to the doctor and they said, "Oh, they're infected," but I don't think they are infected this time. It's just that they're just red and sore. Um, so I'll just wait and hope that they get better. But
Mm.
if any listeners know any solutions to what I now know is called runner's toe, I'd be very interested to hear them.
How many toes?
Mm. Three toes are like that.
Three toes.
Yeah.
Did you get it at Delirious as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I got it the same at Delirious. So
Okay.
it's just, I mean, it may be because of particular incidents of stubbing your toe. Because I can remember particular times, both in Delirious and this race, where I kicked a rock or something, and it was agonising. But I think it's because this runner's toe thing had already developed, so it was like smashing a sore spot.
Oh, ow.
How
It just sounds so painful. We
have you been, Michelle?
we have a different tolerance, though, I think, as runners for our toes getting, losing toenails and things like that.
Oh, I think I told you
like,
that in
whatever.
Delirious, I had a strategy where the pain of it, because I had it then, of feeling the ends of my toes being sore, I told myself that pain was the thing that was stopping me from stopping the race and sitting on the side of the path and being laughed at. So every time I felt the pain, I thought, "Oh, good, I'm not sitting on the side of the path being laughed at by everybody for stopping." It was just a stupid game I played with myself.
And it worked because you did get to the line
Yeah.
in good time.
It's like that saying, make pain your friend and you'll never be alone, or whatever the
Yeah,
saying.
this is true. Yes, for me, I have been training for a small backyard ultra that I'm doing next
Oh,
weekend.
of course,
So,
yes. How's that going?
it's interesting. Because I live at the top of a hill, as I keep saying on the podcast. All of my training, like, it makes no sense when my coach sets me, Amy, my coach sets me runs that kind of for a practice. So I've done like half an hour every hour for 6 hours, but I did actually have meetings in the middle of the day. So I had to do 3 in the morning, 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours at night. So I run for half an hour, rest for half an hour, then head out again at the top of the hour. And then she also set me on the weekend 4 lots of 7Ks. Now, because I'm doing it from home, and as I said, I live at the top of almost 1K hill. It's about 1K.
Right.
And it's reasonably steep in a lot of it. So it
Yeah.
slows you down. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine going somewhere like to a park or something for 4 hours or 6 hours, in training. And then for my break, just coming back and sitting in the car for 20 minutes if it was just a 6.7K. So I decided to do it from here. And as Gabe said, it'll make you stronger. So I still managed to do the 7K ones, and it was quite hard by the last 2 because I still had to come up this big hill, and my breaks were only, 10 minutes or less because of the hill, because it slowed me down. And, that was 7Ks, not 6.7. So yeah, it's just interesting. I'll be really interested to see how I go in the real thing, with all the people around and with all of that, and how you pace yourself. Because I don't plan to go any longer than 10 hours. That's kind of my A goal at the moment, because I'm only doing it to see what it's like. I don't necessarily want to go through the night thing. I leave all that pleasure for Delirious. So
You'll do brilliantly.
I think it'll just be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not very organised. Like, I haven't thought about it because I'm not treating it very seriously. Apart from the training, I'm training seriously, but I'm not treating the organising of, what do I need? What am I going to sit around in? And I've got to organise, food and things. I'm not even, and it's only a week away tomorrow. I haven't even thought,
I've
thought about it. But Simon just follows me around everywhere, so he'll be there. No, Simon said he'll crew me. I did ask him.
Brilliant. So he can bring you food and stuff. And the great thing is the communication must be amazing because you see the person every hour. So you can say, "Oh, next time round, I quite fancy baked potato or whatever."
Exactly. And he would have to go find it though. I think we were like in the middle of a paddock somewhere in the back of Tasmania. So there's that. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, I'll have a lot to report back on. So what it's like. I'm looking forward to it though. Yeah. This weekend, a friend of mine who's quite big in the running community here is put on for a few years in a row now a weekend where we do a marathon over a weekend. So a bit like you hear the West Australian guys doing crazy little challenges of their own. So it's we do four runs, but there's 4 little runs all around Launceston and the Tamar River, and they all add up to a marathon at the end of the weekend. So that will be kind of good training, I think, for the next week too, because it's just a bit of fun and you're out hanging out with people. Do you
ever do like the Rogaine kind of things?
I haven't. We do have Rogaining here, cunning running. And I have some friends who've done it, and I've thought about it, but I've never quite done it. So
I've never done it, but I talked to someone about it, and I thought, oh, this sounds a bit like Delirious because it sounds like the food is really good.
Yes, and it goes for hours, like 12 hours or 24 hours. You can do them in, and and the Delirious part probably is, as you said, part of it after all of that, and because you've got to focus concentrate on not just where you're putting your foot next, but are you going in the right direction based on the map, which may not be a path, like we get to follow a path in Delirious. They don't.
Exactly.
It's a bit
an attraction
mentally
to
taxing.
doing these races is that you can sort of get treated like a toddler. And you come into the aid station, people are like, "Oh, let me take your bottles for you."
Look after you.
Right. That's where to go at the exit.
No, not that way.
Exactly. I always go the wrong way.
Me too. Yeah, that's why I could say that, because I remember people saying that to me. It's so strange. So what have you got planned for December? You've got the silly season ahead of you. Is that going to interrupt with your training, or you just continue as always, like running to work? And
we're actually going to New York. So for 8 days over Christmas, which will be amazing. And I'm not imagining taking like December super seriously for training because I think if anything I've been overtraining a bit.
You need recovery.
Not necessarily overtraining, but kind of overrunning, just because I enjoy running so much. But I won't be commute running to work so much. I'm going to India for work, even before New York. I'm going there on Sunday.
Wow.
So, and usually I'm like, I go, there's a gym in the Singapore airport that I use to run, but I may just like be a little bit more like a normal human being for a few weeks.
That sounds interesting.
Interesting concept. Being
right. You won't
a regular human being.
You won't quite know who you are.
I know. But I will end up running every day, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, do you reckon that you would get a little grumpy, or a little do you think your personality would be affected if you can't run for a little while? Not just can't, but as you said, life is putting a few trips and things in there, and you should be recovering a little bit and letting your body.
Yeah, there's definitely a sort of central governor that wants to run and be tired, and I think probably after 100 miler it dies down for a few days. But even today when I went running, there was this sort of impulse to get to be going faster and to be getting my heart rate up, but my legs were kind of like, well, if you really want to do that, something kind of may go snap. So
you're going to need new legs if you want to do that.
Yeah. So I think I will try. I will try and get out every day, because I think otherwise, I will become grumpy, insufferable.
It's fun. I mean, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but it is interesting to ponder, because I know that feeling. My legs have felt like jelly sometimes. Like, as you said, they physically don't feel like they can run, but my mind wants to run, so it's like that, that kind of fight between your physicalness and your your
I
thoughts,
don't have
your
like
body.
like I don't like cycling particularly out doing cycling in the city
Mm,
because I live in a city. Um, but if I had a fixed bike, like a gym bike
mm,
in the house, I'd probably be on it now, just going
yeah.
trying to go crazy with it.
Maybe we should look at that, Craig. Like, what is it that drives us when we get like that? Should we do something about that, actually? Is that healthy?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
Right?
I don't know.
But what I always say to people is like, if you had a dog
Mm,
and you didn't exercise it,
mm,
you would be accused of being really cruel.
that's true.
But if you don't exercise yourself,
Hmm.
you're not accused of being cruel. But that's like to me, that's the same thing. We actually just need
Mm.
that. Whether and I don't mean going and doing. I'm not
Not what
espousing
we
my
do.
lifestyle, but just even if it's walking around the block or or whatever. I think
Yeah,
we need. I do think we're dogs.
we do need the exercise. Our body to be healthy, it
Yeah,
needs it. It just needs it.
yeah,
We probably, everyone well, most people who listen to this podcast have probably been like me, sitting in the doctor's surgery, going through just ordinary everyday stuff. And then they say, look, most of the people I see are quite sedentary, quite whatever, and
yeah,
you are in an amazing condition for your age
yeah,
because you're so physical. Like they
yeah, yeah,
they don't
yeah.
see, like, we're
Yeah.
not normal in the general population, however we should be, which is kind of what you were saying. Like,
Yeah.
we should be, not necessarily to the extent that we do it sometimes, but that actual physically getting out there and move. There's way too much sedentary lifestyle in our modern
Yeah.
communities these days, just because of the way we've set it all up to be nice and easy, from the remote control to the television to
Well, the other
and
thing
the
I learned on the podcast this week was that we need light in the morning and the evening for our circadian rhythm, for our daily
mm-hmm.
rhythm. And actually, you need 2 to 10 minutes outside
Yeah,
early in the morning, not looking through windows, if you can, not
yeah,
through glasses,
yeah,
just not staring at the sun, obviously, so not
yeah,
making it hurt, but just being out there.
yeah. Just having
And
it on your skin.
yeah,
Mm.
and I'd never thought about that. Like you need light, like you need food or air.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's that much
yeah.
to function properly.
It's really important for our mental health as well.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
that sunlight and the circadian rhythm and that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, I'm
fascinating,
just
isn't
saying
it?
obvious things, but it was
No,
just new
no.
to me, and it made me realize, oh, well, it's running to work. That's another benefit I hadn't thought of.
To me, there's so much health benefits to be had from very simple things in our lives that not enough of us
Yeah,
as a population, including me, I'm not perfect at all,
yeah,
we don't just take advantage of it. And yet we then,
no,
get sick or whatever and go, oh, whinge about it, whatever.
yeah,
We don't have to, though. And we know it. We know most of these things, actually. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
interesting, isn't it? I don't know.
It is.
Mind you,
It's really interesting.
then
Yeah.
people like us take it to the extreme
Well, and
when it comes to
also,
the exercise side.
like thinking about Delirious, but any ultra, any running event, or like a park run, there's lots of people saying well done, and actually being told 5 or 10 times well done has a massive positive effect on your physical health,
Absolutely.
as well as your
Yeah.
mental
Oh,
health.
that is, if the one thing people ever learn from all the silly stuff that I say is this truth, and that is that there is no separation between our brain and our body, like our mental and our physical. There actually is no separation. What
Yeah,
happens to us physically affects us mentally. What happens to us mentally affects us physically as well. Like, there
yeah,
just is no separation. And that's not just me ranting. That's a medical fact. It's a
absolutely,
scientific fact.
absolutely.
So when people tell you, well done, and you've just done something that's pretty cool, it does actually get into your brain and then have physical positive effects because of the chemicals that are created in your brain
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
shoot off into
yeah,
your body and your bloodstream, and
yeah,
it's really very positive.
yeah, yeah. That's
Isn't it
good.
awesome? We're a miracle. The whole thing is a miracle that we can move through this world and be so.
Oh, I feel so privileged to be able to do it, and I used to get very nervous before these ultra marathons, and I still do in a kind of just, but not. It's not the same sort of nerves.
Mm-hmm.
I think before I used to be really sort of fearful, and now I kind of go out, and even though I'm quite competitive, and like I came second in my age group at Kosciuszko, and there were quite a lot in my age group. And I came first last year, but that's because the race split. But when I start, I think, okay, 3 out of 10 rate of perceived exertion, no more than that. Whatever the terrain or the conditions, 3 out of 10. If you're not doing 3 out of 10, you're not being honest to yourself. If you're doing more, you're just messing up your race, and it'll take as long as it takes.
Wow! And you just put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, it just feels quite relaxed in that way. Compared to a marathon where you're probably doing 7 or 8 rate of perceived exertion. Your heart's in your throat. That's why I don't want to do marathons anymore.
It's because you turned them into a sprint. That sounds like.
Well, they are, aren't they? I mean, you just.
Well, it depends who you are, Craig. For some people,
they are for me. They're just like a kind of. Even though my sprint now would look like wacky races, it wouldn't look like a proper sprint to anyone watching. It feels like a sprint.
Actually, that is something I realised recently. I happened to see a video of me running something somewhere. I don't remember what it was exactly, but I'm like, wow, when I run in my head, I do not look like that. In your head, you feel like you're actually getting quite smooth. You're looking quite, it's all to get it all together. Then you see yourself running in a video. It's like, that's not me. It's like, who's running like that?
You must have been in that situation when you're running in the park and you see someone else and you think, oh, they're going really slowly. And then the paths join and they run past you. You're like, oh, I must look like I'm going slower than them.
It's just funny. Our perception of reality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I want to be happy in the perception of how I run is I'm more happy with that. I don't need to watch any more videos. No. That's a turn in. I'm going to live with that. All right. So it sounds like you've got a pretty busy time work-wise and, heading over to New York for Christmas and things. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. I love running in other places, and I know you've done plenty of that. Just as exploring, like kind of relaxed exploring mode.
Yeah.
It's always really fun. Enjoy that and enjoy all your Christmas celebrations because you certainly deserve it. You've done a pretty amazing job with that race. So
Thank you. Well, I hope the Backyard Ultra goes well. I'll be thinking of you.
It'll be fun.
I'm sure you'll put something up on it, and very best of luck. I'm sure you'll do brilliantly.
I need to be a bit more serious about it, perhaps. I don't know. Or just keep being cool about it. Like, whatever. It's just going to be a bit of fun.
Fantastic.
Anyway. Oh,
great.
I don't think, I threw it over there. I'll show you another time. I've got a new top with my Zen Run stuff on it. So I'll be using that in the Backyard Ultra. So there'll be some photos.
Oh, great. So we can get merch, can we, from you?
Well, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I've got 20 of them. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Maybe people won't like it. That's a good idea. I should do a merch store, shouldn't I? Yeah, that's a great idea.
And we could all wear them at Delirious.
That's an even better idea. I should get them for Christmas presents for you all for coming on. I'll think about that. All right. Well, you have the best. Merry Christmas. Thank you for sharing your update with us. It's awesome that you're doing so well. I'm so glad that you had a good race.
Thank you.
You're third. And like I said, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we'll catch up with you in the new year.
Great. Thanks, Michelle.
And that's a wrap on this month's check-in. A huge thanks to our athlete for sharing another honest look into what it really takes to train for something as big, bold and slightly bonkers as Delirious WEST. We'll be back with them next month for another update, so be sure to follow the podcast so you don't miss a step. Whether you're training for your own ultra or you just love dot watching with a cup of tea and a bicky, you're in the right place. And if you've got a mate training for something epic or needing a nudge to start, send the podcast their way. Catch you on the next one.